students, and welcome in the online session of Class 7 Science, Chapter 6 Physical and Chemical Changes. Students, in the yesterday's session, we have completed the topic Physical and Chemical Changes. In physical changes, we have seen that no new substance is formed, but only the physical properties of the substance changes. Whereas in case of chemical changes, always a new substance is formed, and this type of change is irreversible. Irreversible means it cannot be reversed back. We cannot get back the original substances. Now let's see what we are going to do today. Today we'll learn about the reaction between baking soda and vinegar. Okay. Then observations indicating chemical change. How we come to know that a chemical change has occurred. So this we'll discuss. Then what is rusting, what is galvanization, and what is crystallization. So these are all topics we are going to cover today. So let's start first with the reaction between baking soda and vinegar. Students, baking soda is available in our houses. We use this soda as a cooking soda also. Okay. When pakoras are made at home, then a pinch of baking soda is added to it, if you have noticed, when your mother cooks. Okay. And vinegar is also available. Okay, vinegar is used in the pickles as preservative also. Okay, now let's see what is this reaction. Now students, when a pinch of baking soda is added to vinegar, okay, if we add a pinch of baking soda to the vinegar, now see, baking soda is basic in nature and vinegar is acidic in nature, means we are adding a base to a acid. So when these two are added together, we hear a hissing sound. Okay, we hear a sound. Okay, and observe the bubble formation. So you can see in the diagram here how the bubbles have formed. After adding baking soda to vinegar, such type of bubbles are formed and the solution just rises up. Okay, so what is the reaction, students? Vinegar, which acid is present in vinegar? It is acetic acid. Okay, and what is the formula for baking soda? It is sodium bicarbonate. Okay, sodium bicarbonate. How to write sodium bicarbonate? The symbol for sodium is Na, and bicarbonate is written like this: NaHCO3. This is the formula for sodium bicarbonate. Okay, and whenever carbonate is present in the reaction, always the gas released is carbon dioxide. Okay, so why these bubbles are formed here, children? When acetic acid reacts with sodium bicarbonate, then what happens? Reaction will occur and carbon dioxide is given out. So these bubbles are of this carbon dioxide gas. Okay, now see, once carbon dioxide is formed in the reaction, do you think this reaction is reversible? Can we get back the baking soda and vinegar? No. So what type of change this is, students? It is an example of chemical change. Fine, it's an example of chemical change. Fine. So which reaction we have studied? Reaction between baking soda and vinegar. Fine, when they react, carbon dioxide is formed in the reaction, due to which bubbles can be seen. Okay, now let's move on to the next slide and see. When carbon dioxide reacts with lime water, children, lime water's formula is CaOH whole twice. OH is written in bracket and after the bracket 2 is written here. Okay, so what is the formula for carbon dioxide? It is CO2. Fine. So the carbon dioxide which is produced by the reaction of vinegar and baking soda. Okay, the reaction which we have seen, when vinegar reacts with baking soda, CO2 is produced. Now this CO2 when reacts with lime water, what is the formula? CaOH whole twice. Okay, so when these are added together, then the new product formed is calcium carbonate. Okay, what is the formula for calcium carbonate? Calcium carbonate's formula is CaCO3. This is calcium carbonate. Okay, again repeat after me. It is calcium carbonate CaCO3 and water is formed in the reaction. So you can see that the reactants, means the initial original substances were different. But after reaction, a new substance is formed which is CaCO3, calcium carbonate. Okay, and when this is formed, it turns lime water milky. Okay, calcium carbonate is formed and lime water turns milky. Means before the solution was transparent, but after reaction it becomes milky. Okay, it becomes white. Okay, so this is another example for a chemical change. Fine. So what was the first example? Vinegar added to baking soda, it forms CO2. So this is one example. Now when carbon dioxide is added to lime water, it forms calcium carbonate. So this is again one example of chemical change. Okay, so now let's see the next topic. What are the observations indicating chemical change? How you will come to know that a chemical change has occurred? Okay, how you will find that whether it's a chemical change or a physical change? Okay, so there could be some observations. By watching them you can find out that yes, it's a chemical change. Okay, so let's see what are the observations, how we can come to know that yes, it is a chemical change. So first is, heat or light is absorbed or released during a chemical change. Okay, whenever a chemical change has to occur, heat or light is either absorbed or released. Okay, absorbed means either the heat is given, like when you are preparing tea. Okay, when you are preparing tea, what you do, you on the flame or not? Okay, so you on the flame like this. Here you are preparing tea, so you will on the flame. So what you are doing now, here the heat is absorbed. This mixture is absorbing the heat. It is taking the heat, and then only the reaction will occur, the chemical change will occur, and a new product will be formed, which is the tea. Fine. So here heat is absorbed. But sometimes students, what happened? Heat is released. Can you give some example for this? How the heat is released? Now see, when a bomb is blast, suppose this is your cracker. Okay, this is a cracker. Now what you do, you bring the flame near here, then it will start burning, right? It will start burning like this, and it will blast. Okay, it will blast like this, it will blast like this, completely blast. Now when it blasts, what will happen, children? Heat and light both are released or not? Heat and light both are released. It will blast with a huge spark, so light is released in there, and the complete area or the complete mixture becomes very hot. So heat and light are released, and because it's a chemical change, after burning ash is produced and something other things are produced, so that's a chemical change, a new substance is formed. Okay, so this is one observation, that if heat or light is absorbed or released, that means it's a chemical change. Now, what is second observation? Production of sound. Okay, if sound is produced, when a chemical reaction occur, if sound is coming out, that means it's a chemical change. Okay, like when we added vinegar and baking soda, a hissing sound is a very little hissing sound is produced. So it's a chemical change. Again, crackers, when they burn, sound is also released. So it is also a chemical change. Okay, so if sound is produced, from that you can guess that it's a chemical change. Okay. Then third observation is production of smell. Okay. If after formation of new substance, a different type of smell comes, then it also indicates that a chemical reaction has occurred or a chemical change has taken place. Fine. Then the next observation is production of gases. If some gas is produced in the reaction, like when baking soda is added to vinegar, CO2 gas is formed. Okay. So when some gas is formed, or some precipitate means some solid product is formed, then also it indicates that it's a chemical change. And the fifth observation is that color changes may occur. The solution color may change, right? That when we add acid to a base, then salts are formed. The color also changes. Salt's color also changes. So that is also a example of chemical change, and which tells that chemical change has occurred. Fine. Like we prepare tea, again I'll give you the example of tea. When you prepare tea, what is the color of milk? It's white. But what is the color of tea? It's little brownish. Fine. So a color change is there. So when the color changes, you can guess that yes, it's a chemical change. Okay. So how many points we have covered? How we know that chemical change occurred? First one is when heat or light is absorbed or released. Second, if sound is produced. Third, if smell is produced. Fourth, if some gas is produced or some solid is produced. And if the color changes. By these five observations, we can tell that yes, a chemical change has occurred. Okay. Now, let's see the next one, that is rusting. What is rusting? Okay, just observe the picture given downside. You can see here that it is one of the object made up of iron. Okay, but this is not the actual color of iron if you see. Fine. Here you can see some of the here you can see some brown colored, reddish brown colored substance is formed on the iron. Everywhere you can see, right? Here also you see this is not the actual color of iron. You can see a reddish brown color coating has come on iron. And this is known as rusting. This is known as rusting. Okay. So let's see the definition that when substances made up of iron are exposed to air, like if any substance which is made up of iron, it is kept in the open air or moisture in the atmosphere, it forms a red color coating on it. And that red color coat is known as rust. That red color substance which is formed on the iron when it is kept in air, that red color substance which is formed on the iron is known as rust. Okay, is known as rust. And it is in the form of layers. These layers can be removed like this. Flaky substance it is. Okay, so this reddish brown color substance which is formed on the iron when it is kept in air is known as rust. Fine. Everyone might have seen at your own houses if some old object which is made up of iron, if you keep it outside, this red color substance is formed on it, and this is called rust, and this process is called rusting. Fine. You might have seen on your cycles also, if you're not using your cycle and the cycle is kept outside for a long time in the open air and in the rain and in the sunlight, any type of atmosphere, then you will see that a red color substance is formed on it, and this substance is called rusting. Okay, now let's see next one, that is the process of resting can be represented as, now we are showing it in the reaction form. How to write it? See, what is needed for the rust to form, how the rust is formed. So first thing we need is iron. In an iron object is kept in open, so in open, in the outside air, what is present? Oxygen is present, right? Water droplets are present in the air. Okay, so when these three react together, when these three mix together, which one? Iron, oxygen and water, when they are mixed together, when they react with each other, then rust is formed. That red color substance is formed. Okay, and what is the formula for it? Formula for rust, rust's actual name is iron oxide. What is the name for rust? Chemical name, scientific name, it's iron oxide. And what is the formula? Fe2O3. What is the formula? Fe2O3. Fe stands for iron and O is the symbol of oxygen. Okay, so Fe2O3, this is the formula for rust. This is formed. Okay, what is the reaction? When iron reacts with oxygen and water, it forms a red color substance which is called rust. What is the formula for rust, children? It is Fe2O3. Okay, for rusting, the presence of both oxygen and water is essential. This rust, this red color substance is only formed when oxygen is present as well as water is present. Okay, both of the things are needed for the reaction to occur. If oxygen is there and water is not there, then rust will not be formed. If water is there, oxygen is not there, then also rust is not formed. So rust is formed when iron reacts with both of them, oxygen and water. Okay. Now, if the content of moisture is high, there will be more humid, rusting gets faster. Okay, what is humid? Humid means when air has more water, like in rainy season, children, air contains more water droplets, right? So that is called humidity, humid condition. So if it is more humid, means more moisture is present in the air, more water droplets are present in the air, then rusting will be faster or not? This reaction will be faster because more water is available, more oxygen is present in the air, so more reaction will take on and rusting will get faster. Okay, so in humid conditions rusting gets faster. Fine. Now let's see the next slide and how to prevent rust, how we can prevent rusting, how we can save the iron objects. Okay, because once rusting is formed, iron object looks very dirty, right? It looks very dirty and we cannot use it. So how to prevent rusting? How to stop rusting? Okay. So first one is prevent iron articles to come in contact with oxygen or water. Iron things, iron objects should not be kept open in the water and oxygen. They should be either covered or they should be either painted like, okay, so they should not come in direct contact with the oxygen or water. Then second is apply coat of paint and grease. What should be coated on the iron objects? Paint. Okay, like suppose this is your gate or any iron object, it is fine. Now from here air is coming and this iron object is in contact with the air, fine. Now what happens if you painted it? This is the iron object and if you are painting it, so you have painted suppose it with some color, you have painted it, right? So when you paint it, what will happen? This paint will come in between this iron object and air, right? Now in between this iron and this air, what has come? This paint. So this paint will stop the contact of iron and air. So when these two will not in contact with each other, then what will happen? There will be no reaction. Okay, that's why all iron objects are coated with paint. They are painted or either they are greased. Sometimes grease is also put on them. Fine. You might have seen that all the iron cores of our window panes, our iron gates, they all are painted. We do paintings on them, right? We coat a paint on them. Or sometimes grease is also applied on them. Why we are doing it? We are doing it to stop the rusting. Okay, so paint can be used, grease can be used to stop the rusting, and by this we can save the iron articles from getting rusted. Okay, then third method is deposit a layer of metallized zinc. Okay, like what I have said that when suppose this is the iron object, so in this second one method what we have done, we have applied paint on it, right? Now the third method is what we can do is we can coat the layer of zinc. Means this iron object will be coated with zinc. This coating is of zinc, Zn, zinc. Zinc is another metal, but this zinc reacts less with air. Okay, so this iron object will be completely coated with zinc. Okay, we'll apply a liquid coat of zinc on iron as we painted. In the same way, zinc coating will be given on iron. Fine. So these are the methods by which we can prevent rusting. So first one is stop the contact of the iron articles with oxygen and water. Then we can use paint and grease on the iron objects. And third one is to give a layer of zinc on it. Okay. Now let's see the next slide is what is galvanization? What is galvanization? So the process of depositing layer of zinc over iron. Now only I have told you that if a iron object is coated with zinc, okay, if you put a zinc layer on it, so this method, this process of depositing a layer of zinc over iron is called galvanization. Fine. Now you can see the examples here. These are the pictures of some iron water pipes. Now they are galvanized. You can see this is not the actual color of iron, right? So this silver color which is painted above it so that it does not get rusted. So this is the coating of zinc on it. This is the coating of zinc on it. Zinc is coated on it. And this process of depositing zinc on the iron is known as galvanization. So how can we define galvanization? This is the process of depositing a layer of zinc on iron. This process is called galvanization. Examples you can give: water pipes are galvanized. Nowadays you can see all the taps, okay, which we are using in our houses, they all are galvanized. Fine, they do not rust because a coating of zinc is given on them. Now let's see the next process, that is crystallization. Fine. What is crystallization? You know what is crystal? Crystal. Have you seen a sugar crystal? One piece of sugar like this. So this is what? This is a crystal form. Okay, solid form. Crystal having a particular definite shape. Solid in a particular definite shape is called a crystal. So what is crystallization? The process of separating salt from their solution. Fine. What we are separating now? We are separating salt from its solution. Like when salt is mixed in water, it becomes a solution. So how to separate salt again from water? That process is called crystallization process. Okay, separating salt from its solution is called crystallization. Now this crystallization is a purification technique. When this process is undergone, all the dirt, all the dust particles, they all are removed. So it is also known as a purification. Purification means cleaning technique of the salt. So it's a purification technique that purifies the salt, that cleans the salt from seawater or crystals from impure samples. Fine. And this is a physical change. What type of change it is? Physical. Because we are just separating salt from the water solution. There is no new substance formed here. So crystallization is a physical change. Remember children, it's a physical change. Now let's see some pictures. Now you can see here that the salt which has to be crystallized. See, I'll just orally tell you how this crystallization is done. Now suppose any salt you have to crystallize. So what we'll do, this salt we will first add in water. We will add this salt in water and we will boil it. Okay. When we will boil it, so what will happen? All the salt particles will properly dissolve in water and a solution will be formed. Fine. Now this solution is allowed to cool. This solution, sorry, before cooling it has to be filter. It has to be filter. So when you filter it, what will happen? All the dust particle will remain up and the clear water will settle down. Okay, along with salt. Salt will not get deposited upside. Salt will come with the water only downside. Fine. So how the filter can be done? Filter can be done by using a strainer or any filter paper can also be used. Fine. Like this is the glass and on it a cone, using a strainer we can strain it. Fine. So all the dust particles will remain on the strainer and a clean solution will be collected in the glass here. Now after doing filtration, now this filtrate which has come in the glass, this will be allowed to cool. Now we have to cool it. Okay. And when you will cool it at normal temperature, we have not to keep it in refrigerator, it has to be cooled at normal temperature. Fine. You will keep this glass outside only. So what will happen, you will see after 2 3 days that such type, you can see here, such type of crystals of salt can be seen. Okay. This is another compound, this blue color is showing, this is not white salt, it is actually some different salt, copper sulfate salt. So copper sulfate crystals they are, right? Copper sulfate crystals. They are of blue color. So when this solution mixture is allowed to cool, then what will happen? Such type of it start, settling down and forming crystals. So such type of solid crystals are formed on cooling. And these crystals are pure form. No dirt, no dust is there in them. That's why it is called a purification technique. So pure salt, pure compound can be obtained by using crystallization method. In this, the salt is mixed in water, then it is boiled, then it is filtered, and the filtrate is allowed to cool. And then such type of crystals can be formed. And it's a purification technique and it's a physical change. Okay, so let us now summarize what we have done. So we have studied about baking soda and vinegar reaction, then what is rusting, galvanization, and what is crystallization. Fine. So hope all the concepts will be clear to you. If any doubt, you can ask anytime. Okay. We'll meet in the next session. Till then, stay home, stay safe.